degrees as the field of cars in tonight's 250-lapper for the NASCAR Nationwide Series rolls from the pit lane and out on to the Richmond International Raceway. You want to pick a driver with an opportunity to get his first Nationwide Series win tonight, you got to look at the driver of that two-car, Brian Scott. Mentioned that last year, this race, he led 239 laps, the opening 239, before losing out on that last restart. Had a solid run here in April also. Came up finishing in 5th position. And Brian starting inside of road number 3. He's our in-race reporter, and it's time to talk to him.
Brian, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
Yes, sir, Dale. Go ahead.
All right, Brian, let's hear it right to our mailbag question. It comes from Stephen in Boston, Massachusetts. He asks, you've been great in Richmond recently with 2 straight top 5 finishes and 284 laps led over your last 2 races. What is it about this track that suits your driving style so well?
Well, I've got fast Richard Childress Racing Chevrolets. My team's done a great job. We've got another fast Smoky Mountain Chevrolet tonight. We're ready to go out there and try to win one of these nationwide insurance races under the lights. This track's been good to me. We're starting a little further back than I have the last 2 times, unfortunately. But this place is normally about the long run and saving tires, which is something I think I do fairly well. We're going to have to do it tonight. We're going to have to manage these tires, keep as much rubber on these Goodyears as you can, be there at the end. Try to keep it clean and go out there and do what it takes to win this thing when push comes to shove.
Hey, Brian, as I talked to you and a number of other drivers yesterday, with this new tire, you were struggling with your setup. Did you get your car where you need it to win this race?
I guess we'll find out here in a couple minutes. If we're going to the front, I'd say we got our car pretty good. We've struggled to get the rear end hooked up like we need coming off the corners, but we've made a lot of changes from practice. The track's cooled down. It's got rubber on it. So we'll see. I hope we adjusted the right way. If not, I got one of the best pit crews in the business there on pit road that's going to make some adjustments and keep moving me forward and give me clean air.
All right, that pit crew's got a good driver, too. Hey, thanks for talking. We'll look forward to talking with you later on. Have a great night.
Sir, thank you. You guys enjoy the race tonight.
We plan on it. Hope he does, too. Brian carrying our Chevy onboard camera tonight here at Richmond. Ty Dillon's got a Sunoco on board. Regan Smith with a Victory Motorcycles camera. Chase Elliott, the Napa on board. Elliott Sadler, the Nationwide Insurance camera. Ryan Blaney on the front row with a Ford EcoBoost camera. Kyle Busch on pole position with a Toyota on board. And James Busher has a Nationwide Insurance camera here in Richmond tonight. And as they come to get one to go, a little Napa know-how for you. As things to look for tonight. That tire's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference between the spring and fall race. This tire's going to make it a whole different ball game tonight, and it is hot.
Yeah, it has been hot, and that's changed this racetrack, too. Looking for grip. That's what these drivers are looking for. Got to keep you cool, too. Going to be a lot of close racing.
A little short track racing in a hot evening always seems to make the tempers boil a little more quickly. And the championship picture with 9 races to go. Chase Elliott starting inside of row number 2, leading Regan Smith by some 15 points.
Appreciate y'all's hard work all weekend, guys. Nice and smooth tonight. Try to be on our game and have some fun. Try to be there when it counts.
When it counts is 250 laps from now, barring a green-white checker that extends the scheduled race distance. So it's Kyle Busch on the front row, Ryan Blaney outside of him in the Penske 22, the top 2 teams in the Nationwide Series Team Championship, the owners' points. Remember, they went head-to-head for the win at Bristol a couple of weeks ago. Pace car's off. Here we go. Some things about their race car right now that they didn't know from yesterday's practice. Trouble, turn 1. Jamie Dix spun around, and some cars have been collected in the aftermath. 74, Kevin LePage.
Fire up and go here.
And the first yellow.
Fired up, get around him here. Spin it around.
You can see the water running out of that 74. I believe that got the radiator. Kevin LePage.
Yeah, that's a mess. Jamie Dick was running in 23rd position. And Kevin LePage was a little bit further back and collected in the aftermath.
Yeah, looks like he found himself between J.J. Yaley and Jeff Green 3 wide. I'm not sure he saw that 28 car.
Didn't have any idea that the 28 was there. You can see him just hang a left right there, trying to go to the bottom.
And you saw the left front of the 28 lock up when he realized 55 was coming down toward him.
By then, it was a little too late for that to happen. And then Kevin LePage had a number of them that missed it, but Kevin LePage had already committed right there.
Yep, that will be going behind the wall.
And I'll drive to the garage.
At 55 now, looked like it took that hit right on the left rear tire. So see if the rear end housing's moved over in that car. And if
I'm pretty sure it is. Looking at the right rear wheel, it looks like it's definitely bent the trailing arm, probably the housing as well. That car's not going to be driving too good.
You see a lot of these cars sliding around there, though, just not having been really on track other than their qualifying sessions. I think that they probably got to show them a different track.
I got underneath the 55, and the starter come down. I locked up the brakes and just barely touched him. Just got in the right front corner.
J.J. Yaley and this 28 team been doing a really nice job in recent weeks, but involved in some early trouble tonight here at Richmond. Well, a halting start to the night. We'll see if it's going to be yellow fever or if this one's going to get going. Elliott was going to make a run underneath Ryan Blaney, but Blaney got a good ride down the backstretch and has cleared him for second place. Now Kyle Larson and Brian Scott for fourth place, and Larson's going to come out on top of that.
Chase made 22 car was really strong to take that spot away because it looked like Chase Elliott really made a good exit on turn 2, but he wasn't able to keep that second spot.
Matt Kenseth 20, Brian Scott 2. This is fifth and sixth place. The car you saw smoking at the back of the screen just after the restart was Jamie Dick's machine with that rear end housing knocked askew. Was limping back around and has gone to the Nationwide Series garage. Dakota Armstrong 43, Dylan Kusneski 31. They're racing for 9th and 10th spot. First side by side. Landon Castle, Trevor Bayne in the row behind them.
Yeah, another good qualifying effort by Landon Castle in that 01 car.
He had a good race here back in April for Johnny Davis's team in that 01. Things went a little askew at the end with some of the action that happened, but had a really nice drive all night.
Yeah, he's had actually good practice sessions here today and yesterday. And decent qualifying run. I think it was a top 5 in practice yesterday and a top 10 qualifying run.
And there's Kevin Harvick in the 5 creeping into the picture.
You can expect to see him continue to move forward, let these cars get strung out just a little bit. He'll take his time, see what he's got with this 5 car.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting what he said in the countdown about when you get to lap 20, 25 on the tires. That's when you're going to know what kind of car you have, what kind of chassis, and how your night's going to go.
And I didn't see a lot of teams yesterday making longer runs. They got run out of time because of the weather that came in, but they were also, a lot of them struggling just to run 5 or 6 laps because the cars were so loose and they were having to make adjustments to these cars that were so totally different than what they had run here in the spring.
It's funny, we've heard this in both garages, the Sprint Cup garage and the Nationwide Series garage. They took the data that Goodyear provides them on the tire that they came here with. They did all their engineering studies and their simulations and so on, and yet a lot of them came here and found actual conditions a lot different than what they were expecting by what the engineering predicted.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, you can predict that stuff, and other times you just have to put it into practice and see if, see if those calculations are correct. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not.
You see Trevor Bayne getting split there, lost 2 spots going down the front straightaway, but that's things that the drivers have been hearing from them. This is a little harder right side tire, which you expected because they were wearing the right fronts out. so it's a little harder. That's making it not turn quite as good in the center, but they have more stagger, which is making it actually looser for them on the exit of the corner. So tough problem for crew chief to fix, and a tough driving condition for the drivers.
Elliott Sadler 11, Regan Smith 7, two of the top 4 in the championship standings. Way back in traffic, and needing to make up some ground tonight. Got a lot of time left, but still qualified a lot more poorly than they were hoping for.
Sadler make a good pass there. You can see those, just as he went down into turn 1. Didn't see it really in 3 there, but the rotor's already blowing. Using a good bit of brake, which you will use more into turn 1.
So Elliott Sadler moving into the 13th position, Regan Smith in 15th, while championship leader Chase Elliott runs 3rd behind these two, Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. What a shock, 54 and 22, racing up front.
These two teams are excellent. Of course, Kyle's in this car more, but we do see Ryan Blaney running a little different line down here in 3 and 4, and it's worked for him because he has been able to close that gap that Kyle had gotten after the restart. He's pretty much the same thing most of the time down in turns 1 and 2. He'll hang the bottom. You see Kyle go to kind of block any effort that he may be making there. But this 22 looks good already, Dave.
He does, DJ, and he didn't venture up there until he got word from his spotter that someone else was trying it with some success. Someone that Blaney can probably trust in, and that was Matt Kenson. They said, Matt's the only one up there right now. He's kind of in his own world up there, but you can try it if you want. So that's when Blaney moved up to see if his car had the same speed and grip.
So Blaney running in 2nd. So here we are at that 20-lap mark. And Kevin Harvick starting to pick up some positions in that 5 car.
Yeah, he kind of moved Landon Castle out of the way to take that spot.
Playing through.
Yep, that's just what you get on these short tracks.
You go into the night as a driver knowing that you might have to do that. You may get it in return at some time, too.
Harvick started 15th. He took 8th away from Castle. Early in the going, Kyle Busch has done all of the leading so far. But we've got a lot of racing to go tonight here at the action track. Raceway in the NASCAR Nationwide Series 250 lapper tomorrow night. The race to decide who makes the chase and who gets left out. What's above it is all you need to know about what's below there. Our telecast presented by AutoZone is on ABC tomorrow night at 7 Eastern Time. Should be some fun short track racing here from Richmond. Next weekend, on to a freaky fast place for a freaky fast race. Chicagoland Speedway, the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast 300 next Saturday for this NASCAR Nationwide Series. See you at 3 Eastern next weekend.
Did you say that a little faster than you normally do?
I can try. But generally I find the faster I get, the more I crash with my tongue there.
Happens in a car, too.
Yep. Kyle Busch put a little gap and a couple lap cars between himself and 2nd place Ryan Blaney as we cross the 30-lap mark. With Chase Elliott closing in now on Blaney for 2nd place.
They closed in on some heavy traffic. It's separate them a little bit. Like Chase was catching the leader there for a few laps and encountered a little bit of a stumbling block along the way with all these lap cars.
Sorry, DJ, go ahead.
I was just going to say the one thing that I've seen with the 54 car up in front is this car has really got good drive off. And when you get around lap traffic, that's where you can really make a difference and cut through that traffic a lot better if you can have that drive off.
Big Brad wouldn't pick him. He's rolling. Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I watched lap times, and he said that we'll see at lap 20, 25 on the tires who has the best car. Right about that time is when this 5 car started showing up with the fastest lap times on the board. So he knows what kind of car he has.
Working on Brian Scott for 6th place. Outside.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's impressive there.
Vince Harvick looking pretty sporty in the early going.
Well, and as you would expect from this combination of Kevin Harvick and Ernie Cope, they won here in April, dominated that race, led 202 laps. But when I talked to Ernie Cope about it before, I said, is this the same car? And he said, yeah, but you'd never know it. We were so bad in practice. They've obviously got it figured out. He said, major change.